Can poetry save your life?
While poetry can be seen as mind-numbingly boring and depressing for some high school students, for many people, poetry is actually what helps them through traumatic and depressing experiences that could have been fatal.
The author tells us our minds are tuned to rhythm and rhyme. We tend to enjoy things that are easier for us to mentally process, and both rhyme and repeated patterns do just that. Poetry is full of rhythm and rhyme, so it satisfies us to listen to it. Farther, poetry amplifies our emotions, which activates parts of the brain's frontal lobe and ventral striatum, which are involved with reward and pleasure. It's at times when trauma patients, cancer patients, people suffering from depression, and more were all benefited from reading and writing poetry. Why do you think Shakespeare's poems were written in a time of pain? It's because poetry has always been a way for one to cope with pain.
A 2021 study of hospitalized children found that providing opportunities for them to read and write poetry reduced their fear, sadness, anger, worry, and fatigue. Another study found that guided poetry writing sessions significantly alleviated both symptoms of depression and trauma in adolescents who have been abused. Other studies found that poetry therapy with a certified therapist helped cancer patients improve emotional resilience, alleviate anxiety levels, and improve their quality of life. This evidence supports and shows how poetry can help people's mental health, even in the worst of times.
As students who don't enjoy poetry as much, this article has made us reconsider due to the outcomes in the study shown. Most teenagers experience fear and sadness, frustration, and depression. Seeing that poetry could aid us in these times has led us to regress in our original assumptions.
Too many people have had their life altered by a traumatic event. Richard Simo presents poetry as a possible coping mechanism to increase feelings of happiness and reduce feelings of stress during these periods. He justifies poetry's ability by explaining how rhyme, rhythm, and meter, all components of poetry, are deeply satisfying to the human brain and release endorphins related to pleasure and joy. The effect poetry has on the mind is cited as the reason it is able to help people through traumatic times. By drawing this connection and offering a solution to an issue that could lead to death and despair, Richard Simo offers the most powerful reason to read poetry.